Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Say it every day, but you can also listen to me and on the podcast on all of your regular streams that you're on. So make sure you check it out there if you want to listen instead of watching. First of all, got to say big up to Cesc Fabregas, who retired from football yesterday at age 36. I always remember, listen, I know it can be a bit mixed with Arsenal fans on Fabregas because he went to Chelsea. But for me, I still remember him as a great player for Arsenal. And I always remember that he went to Barcelona. When he came back, we had first refusal on him and we didn't want to take him back. And he ended up going to Chelsea. The guy's got to do what he's got to do for his career. But for Arsenal, a magnificent player, came from Barcelona, came up through our academy and was a superstar player for me. And looks like he's going to be getting into coaching. He's been doing some stuff at Arsenal, I've noted. So I'm sure he's going to make a really good manager one day in the future. So good luck to Cesc Fabregas. And I've got another fact for you, right? On this day in 2019, Arsenal made a certain signing. Do you know who that is? I'll tell you who it was. It was Gabriel Martinelli. And I remember very well when we signed him, I'd never heard of him. I just had to say, listen, I've never heard of this player. We signed him from Ituano in the Brazilian third division for £6 million we paid for him at the time. What a signing that was. I mean, probably worth about 100 million now. And it just goes to show that not every signing has to be a Declan Rice or has to be, your multi-million pound signing. It can be a signing as left field as this that turns out to be an absolute superstar. And that's what we've got. Probably one of our best signings we've made in about the last 20 years. Absolutely brilliant. £6 million for Gabriel Martinelli. Let that sink in. Absolutely incredible. However, we have been making some big signings, and this is a big week for Arsenal. I mean, 4 different deals could be completed or should be completed this week. First one, Declan Rice. So he's coming back off of his holidays, coming in. I spoke about it yesterday to do his medical and will be announced as an Arsenal player. £105 million, a lot more than the 6 million we paid for Martinelli. But that's why you got to spot him early, you see, right? And apparently, you know what? There's a rumor that Wenger I know these rumors always come about Arsene Wenger, but he could have signed Declan Rice when he was a teenager. But listen, you could sign every player, couldn't you? But Declan Rice coming in for £105 million set to be announced. There's also the Jurrien Timber deal. That is going to get done this week as well. There's everything's been agreed with Ajax, as what I've been told, and personal terms were agreed a long time ago. And Jurrien Timber will be announced this week as well as an Arsenal player, getting both of them in early for pre-season, and that's a great bit of business by Arsenal. They're also going to be tying down William Saliba. That's going to hopefully get announced this week as well, to a new long-term deal, said to be a 4-year extension onto his current contract, which runs out at the end of next year. So Saliba will be here for another 5 years. Absolutely brilliant news for one of the best centre-backs in young centre-backs in world football, in my opinion. Great future ahead of him for Arsenal. And Reiss Nelson is actually out of contract at the moment because his contract expired on Friday. New deal set to be penned with him as well on a 4-year contract for him as well. And, certainly when he came off the bench last year, he looked really, really exciting. And I think, again, great news for Arsenal to get these sort of talent signed up. Reiss Nelson, by the way, another player who's come through the Arsenal academy system and is starting to look like a really, really important player. And what I saw of him last season, I think some really exciting times lie ahead with Reiss Nelson. But what about other signings? We've been linked today with another West Ham player, and that's Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, right back, who plays for West Ham, still only 23 and available on the cheap for around about £10 million according to a lot of reports. Now, his contract at West Ham expires next year. He's got 1 year left on his contract. He hasn't signed a new deal yet. I think last year he was used quite sparingly by West Ham. Wasn't always the starter in that position. And he's kind of keeping his options open at the moment. Now, obviously, for West Ham, they don't want a player like this, his contract running out. He's a player who's come through their academy as well. And Arsenal said to be one of the teams showing an interest in him, although right back. Is that not what we're going to ask Timber to do as well? I mean, all of a sudden, we're starting to stack up right backs because, you've got Timber who'll be able to play there. You've got Ben White who'll be able to play there. You've got Tomiyasu who'll be able to play there. But who knows? We've also been linked again today with Ivan Fresneda, Rio Valladolid. Now, again, another right back, young right back, 18. We've been linked with this kid since the January transfer window. When at that time, it was thought that Arsenal were going to go in and put a serious bid for him. Again, he's 15 million pounds, so it's not a huge amount of money for Arsenal if they want to go and make this interest concrete, which is coming from a Spanish publication called Nacional. They're the publication that are saying that Arsenal are trying to sign Fresneda. Barcelona still the favourites. Again, I have to question it just for the fact that we're getting in Timber, and all the talk is that Timber is going to be able to, as well as playing centre-back, playing that right-back position as well. So you don't know. You don't know with some of these signings because the Arsenal already, the Timber thing was left field. Nobody knew about it, right? Same with, some of the other moves that Arsenal have made. You just do not know what is on the mind, of Edu and Mikel Arteta. Havertz, did we all see that one coming? So you never know. And also still being linked with Arian Tchouameni of Real Madrid. I spoke about this one a few days ago. The rumor is not going away. Arsenal still linked with a move for him. As I explained a couple of days ago, limited game time at Real Madrid. Will it be even worse for him? Because they've re-signed Modric, they've re-signed Toni Kroos, and they've bought in Bellingham. Does that mean that he gets even less time in that midfield? The talk from Madrid is that they want to keep him. He's for the future. They paid a lot of money for him. But what if they make a move for Kylian Mbappe, which, there's a lot of talk of that because Mbappe, last year of his contract with PSG don't want his contract to run out. They'd rather bank the money for him. Real Madrid is the number one destination for him. If he goes this season, financial fair play rules, would they maybe move a Tchouameni on? There's also been talk of them moving maybe a Valverde on as well. It's going to be interesting to see how this one develops. I don't think this is going to be early in the transfer window one, but it could run throughout the transfer window. Manchester United also a team at the moment who are showing an interest in Tchouameni as well. They were interested in him before he even signed for Real Madrid. So let's see how that one develops out. And actually, I just mentioned his name. Let me talk about it again. Kylian Mbappe. Now, this rumor was out yesterday. I'm going to admit to you, I saw the rumor, I read it, and I was like, what a load of rubbish. I mean, the rumor itself was not really a rumor. It was more sort of somebody putting two and two together and speculating. I mean, what they were saying is, if he doesn't go to Real Madrid this year, could Arsenal make a move for Kylian Mbappe next season, right? And at the time, I was like, well, it's not even a proper rumor. It's just speculation. I'm not even going to bother with it on today's show. However, I was thinking about it yesterday after the show and thinking about it even this morning and thinking to myself, well, actually, could Arsenal make a move? If Mbappe doesn't go this season and he becomes available next season, is it too far-fetched to say that Arsenal could make a move for Kylian Mbappe? They've got a lot of money, Arsenal. They've got the wage bill right down at the club. If they have a good run in the Champions League and a good run in the league, they'll have additional funds. They'll be more attractive again to a player like Mbappe. Listen, his number one destination's always been Real Madrid. But what I'm talking about is, could Arsenal be in the conversation for a player like Kylian Mbappe come next season? is that so far-fetched when you see what they've bid for Declan Rice, for instance? Are Arsenal starting to move into that area where when these type of players are mentioned, it's not a joke, I mean, normally you mention £100 million on a player, no one's talking about Arsenal. We're out. It's Chelsea, it's Man United, it's Man City. No one's talking about us. That's ended now with the Declan Rice thing. I mean, what about Osimhen, for instance? If he didn't go, could Arsenal be in for a player like that? I mean, all of a sudden, with the moves that Arsenal have made this summer, those deals don't become so far-fetched. I'm not saying we're going to get them done, but they don't become far-fetched. But certainly any links linking us with Mbappe this transfer window, 100%, I can't see that happening at all. So just get out of your head for a minute. We are being linked, though, with Aymeric Laporte of Manchester City. 29 now. I didn't realise he was actually that old. I thought he was a little bit younger than that, Laporte. Of course, Laporte's actually French, but he plays for Spain. He's taken on the nationality of Spain. Valued at around about £25 million. We know he's been a top defender over the years at Manchester City, but he just can't get a look in now with Laporte and Kanji and Ake, and he just doesn't, John Stones. He doesn't get a look into that first team, and there's a lot of talk that he will be leaving this summer. Mundo Deportivo, a publication over there in Spain, claimed that Arsenal are interested in signing him, although Spurs said to be ahead of Arsenal for his signature. That's what Mundo Deportivo are saying. Again, got to question this one. Jurriën Timber's coming in. How many centre-backs are we going to have? I mean, listen, I'm all about having quality in the team, but how many? I mean, Aymeric Laporte is not going to want to go to any club to sit on the bench. You may as well stay at Man City and sit on the bench and win trebles, right? So I just see that as very, very unlikely. But again, another one being linked today. And finally, Sambi Lokonga, once again, being linked with a move to Burnley on loan. Of course, he was managed by Vincent Kompany when Vincent Kompany was at Anderlecht, and he would like to reunite him. I would like to see this happen. I really would. I think going, playing under Vincent Kompany, who he played for before, getting his confidence back, maybe having a great season in the Premier League would be brilliant for Sambi Lokonga and brilliant for Arsenal as well. You know what I mean? If he could go and do a job and then we could bring him back, do what Balogun's done. Or if we don't bring him back, big sum of money, we move him on. So let's wait and see what happens with that. But Sambi Lokonga still being linked with a move to Burnley. So those are the rumours today. Big week ahead, as I said, for Arsenal. Declan Rice, Jurriën Timber, Reece Nelson, and also the big one for me, William Saliba. If we can get all those tied up, what a great week it's going to be. Plus, what else is coming? Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn your notifications on. Don't miss a thing. We break all the news here on the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.